All right, guys. So we're back for another episode 3 of the Cheap Seats. You had one job, Wilson. You had one job.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much.
Can we hire a DJ?
Oh my. Okay, well, that bombed, so we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen and move on. So Wilson's no longer in charge of the audio.
I wasn't even supposed to be in charge of it from the beginning.
It was Boomer, and Boomer dropped the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you guys watching. It's been really good so far. We've gotten a lot of good feedback. Over 250 views for each episode. We want to keep the momentum going. We want to see you guys actually, comment on the video. Tell us what you want us to talk about, what you want to hear, what you want to discuss. Questions, comments. It's all relative. So let's have some fun doing it. It's your guys' interaction that helps us out too. So to start off this week, we're actually gonna do kind of the same thing we did last week. Have a little fun first 5 minutes here. We're gonna do top 5 favorite sports movies for each guy. So, Boomer, you want to kick that off for us?
Okay, I mean a little bit of a backstory here. I was really wrestling with this one. I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this, and I went a route that I bet you none of you guys went. I basically said, if there's movies on TV and I have a choice between this movie or that movie or this, what movie am I most likely to watch? And I'll get the dirty one right out of the way. My number 5 is going to be Rocky 4. Just because I love the Russian training. I love how he goes to a mountain and he just decides he's going to beat this guy. I have a real soft spot for Rocky and, getting the shit beat out of me in the first, half of the movie and then coming back to win. So Rocky 4 is my number 5.
If he dies, he dies, eh? So
if he dies, he dies. Yeah. So that's number 5. Number 4 was kind of a struggle, but I actually went back to the old days, my roots here a little bit, was Remember the Titans. And I don't know if I could really find a better, like, that was that Disney? Yeah. I think that was a Disney movie.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
You know what? And I'm completely fine with saying that that's in my top 5 because that's a wicked movie. I love that movie.
It never cracked my list, but I remembered it anyway.
Like, you can't really beat Denzel though. So it's tough. My number 3 was The Sandlot for sure. And I think that should be in everybody's top 5. I don't really care what anybody says. It's a hell of a movie. You're killing me, Smalls. So yeah. Number 2 and number 1 for me are pretty close to each other. But number 2 is Tin Cup. Probably because I'm a golfer and because I just love the storyline, and I think it's hilarious that, anybody with a 2 or better handicap has a shot at winning the US Open. I just love the story. I think it's pretty wicked. And number 1 is going to be Moneyball, because right from the first time I ever saw it, I was completely obsessed with that movie. And if it's on TV, I'm watching it. So Moneyball is number 1 for me. So there you
list. Go. I definitely wouldn't have gone the Rocky 4 route, but
yeah, well, I'll tell you what I wanted. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to put Slapshot up there too. It was hard for me to kick it out of the top 5, but yeah, like I said, I was weighing it on what movie I would want to watch if it was on TV, and yeah, The Russian got me.
Fair enough. Pratt?
I hear Russians are great.
Okay, Ovechkin. Oh. You're up, Pratt.
Okay. So last week, I was on the spot. What my favorite sports movie was. I said Major League 2. I lied. It's not. It's in my top 5. So Major League 2. We'll kick it off with that one. I would say number 4, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, for sure.
Somewhat relatable because of how far I hit the ball off the tee. It just hit home with me. So,
geez, from the shortest guy in Estevan here, that's really saying something there, Pratt.
Number 3 is Slapshot.
Suzanne sucks pussy.
Number 2 is Varsity Blues.
Okay.
Oh, right.
James Vanderbeek. Oh my
Right.
good lord.
Right.
Reader.
Good movie.
Great movie, eh? And number 1, by far my number 1, I can't believe I forgot it. Youngblood.
Oh, okay.
Pete with Miss McGill.
That was the one that you were so worked up about?
Oh, have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh. It's unreal.
It's a good movie. It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
What's it about?
Rob Lowe, he's a hockey player.
Oh,
junior
that
hockey
one.
player.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Patrick Swayze's on the team. I'll carve you up, Racky. Oh, it's
It can't-
legendary.
No.
And Tea with Miss McGill's the best scene of the movie. So
Oh, too predictable.
All right, Wilson.
Me? Okay, I've got some repeats here from Boomer actually. So I'll go 5. I had at Sandlot. I wanted to throw the one from the younger days and what I would have watched from then. So that one, I was picking one of those, so that creeped in at number 5. 4 was Rocky 4.
Oh,
What is
oh,
with you?
oh.
Oh my god.
I love it.
It's the
Nice.
best one.
It is
And-
not the best one. If you're gonna pick one of the Rockies, it's Rocky freaking 3 with Mr. T. Come on now.
No,
Come on.
no. Okay, continue, Wilson.
I pity the fool. Go on. Jeez.
I actually think that might be the worst one.
Oh.
it
No.
is.
Whoa.
Oh,
New
Five
one.
is the worst one. 5 is the
Rocky
worst.
5 is pretty bad, but
Boy.
continue.
Okay,
Wow.
Tin Cup is 3. I mean, same as Boomer for the golf, and I know what
You've
he's
done what he did on 18.
Yeah, that's I can relate.
His dad calls him
I got
Tim
another
Cup.
one which used to be my when it first came out. It was my favorite movie. 2 for the Money.
Ah,
Oh.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Al
Yeah,
Pacino. Yeah,
it's awesome.
beauty.
And then-
Yeah.
Going Al Pacino again. Any Given Sunday's number.
No, that was my. Oh man, ruined it.
Yeah, Any Given Sunday. Yeah, Any Given Sunday was right
I
there.
wanted
for
to
me,
have that
too.
to myself. I didn't think any of you would dig that one up. I didn't think
Yeah.
you would.
You
Any
think
Given
it's number
Sunday
one?
was right there for me too. I had it as an honorable mention without a doubt.
But
I
is it
love
your
that
number
movie.
1?
The
It's
Shark,
my number 2.
Yeah, well,
Steamin'
then-
Beamin', Steamin' Beamin'.
Oh, okay. So with mine, yeah, that is, I love it. So my number 5, a couple repeats again as usual. Like I knew this was going to happen. Number 5 for me is Coach Carter. That is not a
Oh,
repeat.
okay. Yeah, good movie.
I really, I liked it. Good message. Solid sports movie.
Good message.
Good message. Yeah.
I like the true story stuff. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's yeah. That's a sign.
You've always been
4.
you've been good grades, so grades are important here, right? Nate?
Absolutely right. Okay, enough out of you. Number 4, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay. Yeah.
Booby Miles. Booby Miles.
Want to
Got-
win?
got-
Put Booby in.
Yeah. Number 3, Hardball. Keanu Reeves.
Wilson likes hardball. Wilson likes hardball.
Never seen it.
I
Really?
love it
Ever
when you
seen
call me Big
Hardball?
Papa. Throw your hands in
Keanu
the
Reeves-
air if
Keanu
you's a
Reeves is
true
the worst
player.
actor.
Well,
Was-
let's not get
Go to
carried
this
away,
one.
Pratt.
He's-
Any Given Sunday was my number 2, and I went a little bit against the grain here. I still consider this to be a sports movie. You guys are going to disagree with me. My number 1 movie of all time, Rounders.
one.
That's a good movie, but I wouldn't call it a sports movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I see a lot of poker being played on TSN, boys. So, what do you? I don't
Like
know.
that's yeah. That movie's in my top 10 of all movies without a
Me
doubt.
too.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't throw it as a sports movie. Otherwise, yeah, I'm there with you. I feel it.
Fair. Yeah.
I got to
I-
throw out an honorable mention for Love of the Game. You guys, I don't think you said you hadn't seen it.
No, I have seen it. I just didn't think it was very good.
No, not a fan. That's one of those ones where you kind of sack up on a Friday night and say you want to watch a movie with your old lady, and you know it's not you want to watch because of the sports, but it's kind of got the romantic thing going too. So you know,
Yeah, you're a big sucker for the romance, eh, Wallace?
I had trouble. It's one that I actually watched, maybe not the most for sure, but if it's always on TV, it's Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like a I love that one.
Do you
You know
guys
what?
do you guys like Ali? Did you not love that movie?
Oh yeah, with Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. It's not sniffing my top 5, but
No.
I liked it.
Same with 42.
You know what movie I actually just saw for the first time, and I think it's pretty good. And you guys might make fun of me for this, but The Rookie, like that is awesome. Like that is so good. The coach that just decides he's gonna throw 96 one day, that is so wicked. Like I would love for my arm to take off like that. Woo!
What's
Look
the
out.
one where the kid owns the Minnesota Twins? That one was
Little Big League.
There
Little
you
Big
go.
League. Great movie.
yeah, not bad.
Great.
Especially because Griffey's in it, and you know Griffey's best of all time. So
Or Rookie of the Year is a good one too.
Best of all time.
well, I mean at least compared to Bonds, right? That's
Oh God, here we go.
You want
Oh
to go?
boy, I need
This is
another few
so-
beer.
Was this your guys' little plan before the podcast? That you're gonna
This
You really thought I had anything to do with this? You give me way too much credit. You give me way too much credit.
I can't compare the two. It's not they're incomparable. So
Oh, because one's clean and one isn't.
Oh,
sorry. Wait. I should be.
this will be a 2-hour podcast if we're gonna go down this road.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
I
geez.
knew that's why I brought up that movie because that was my little intro and to get that one in. So anyway, that being said, we can get into that another day, Jeff. So
will.
we're gonna do a little segment. We're gonna kind of base it off the Last Dance that finished up. It was phenomenal. Loved it. I think we can all agree it was a hell of a 10 episodes that we all watched. So we're going to do its little segment, start, bench, cut. You guys all probably know what this is. Something we liked, something we definitely could go without, and something we would definitely get rid of. So I'm I'm going to start off. My start was I loved watching the old school basketball. I loved it. It was great. Like we're going to touch base on this after. It's going to be a little bit old school versus new school, but seeing how it was played back then, the Pistons era, the Celtics, the Lakers, the Bulls, the way they played, the ferocity, the intensity, it was a war. Loved it. My bench, I guess I wouldn't really call it a bench, but the more I thought about this, I really, Karl Malone, you're kind of a dick.
There's a
I don't
few
know if
dicks in that show though.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. So Karl Malone declined to be in this. He didn't want to be interviewed at all for the documentary. And then I saw a video today where a guy was asking him questions about it, and he was being rather.
he just didn't want to give MJ credit. I seen that video.
You saw it, okay? But I mean, at the end of the day, like,
He was right, Lane.
was he though?
Hey, Karl
Rodman,
Malone, though.
he was playing the Chicago Bulls, and yes, Jordan was the biggest part of that whole thing. But I mean, he just didn't want to give Jordan.
He didn't want to be.
Jordan shouldn't get all the credit. I mean,
So
Rodman.
but you're going to tell. Okay, so then I'll say this, Wilson. The Bulls win against the Jazz without Michael Jordan? Because they ain't winning with just Pippen and Rodman.
Do they win without Pippen?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
Do they?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay, do they win without Rodman?
Maybe not.
Ugh.
But then we're
No.
changing the whole team.
But
Jordan is the only guy that you can't take off that team and they win.
You just said Rodman.
No, I said Rodman. I said Rodman. If you lose him, you're in a lot of trouble. I don't think Wallace did.
Because of Malone.
Yeah.
Malone was the MVP that year. Remember, that's what Malone was like at the top of his game.
Yeah, and Jordan was still better.
I'm not trying to downplay Jordan. I'm just trying to say Malone had a point. it's all about Jordan. The Chicago Bulls won those championships.
For sure.
Yeah.
It just more just giving Malone that credit. Yeah, he's right.
Hey, Karl Malone, after the championship, the Bulls are on the bus drinking their faces off, ready to go home. That guy gets on the bus, goes to the back of the bus and shakes all their hands. I think he's a class act guy, and I don't blame him.
Didn't say he wasn't a class act. I'm just saying.
No,
You're calling him a piece of shit, Wallace, and we're getting frustrated.
Kind of a dick.
You were a key part of that, and there was a lot of other guys. Stockton manned up and was in the documentary. Stockton.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, so was Peyton, and what does that say about him?
Well, Peyton's a loser, so whatever.
Do you know why he wasn't in the doc? He just might have just said, no, I don't want to. There was Carlos.
Fair enough. I liked Karl Malone. I'm just not a fan. You're not going to change my mind on that. Anyway, my cut. Oh, Horace Grant, you douchebag. This guy, and don't even give me that smirk. This guy was the rat. He was the rat that gave all the info to the Jordan rules, but don't tell me it wasn't. It was the only, I'm just saying, it was the only guy that could have given the info about the inner workings of that team and the turmoil and all that crap.
Well, he's
Then,
not the only guy.
well, he was the guy that everyone pointed to. He was best friends with the guy that wrote the book. I'm saying this. You don't come out after the episode. You've been in the documentary. You had to have seen some of the cuts and some of what was going on, what was said, and then say that you hated how Jordan portrayed him in the documentary, and like he had a pout on, right? Like, Horace Grant, you aren't nothing without Michael Jordan. You went to Orlando and did shit. You didn't. You had Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. You had a great team in Orlando. You didn't do shit. So let's call it what it is. You owe Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan made you. He got you paid when you went to Orlando. That's just my take. So now we'll move on to Wilson with his start bench cut. So
Mine?
Yeah.
Hey, I went start. So I kind of, aside from the MJ, like being a beauty, which I already knew that. Like I already knew he was a killer. He was super competitive, all that stuff. So as much as I want to pick that, because that truly is my favorite part, the part that I loved was actually how they did the doc, where they bounced back and forth and made each episode, like they picked the Pippen episode, then they picked the Rodman one, then they had Kukoc, like he was in there, and just the way that they did the whole thing, like made it about that last season and it's led up to that. I thought it was perfect. I think that's what made it so. And then the fact that they called it to do this, release it 2 episodes a week, they played all their cards perfectly in that sense. So I kind of, as much as it's not a specific point in the doc, I do love the way that they laid that out. Bench is, I call bullshit on the 7th title a little bit. And what I mean by, like, if you look at the team, do I think Krause should have said that stuff at the beginning of the season? Like, no, that was so stupid. He didn't need to say it. That's the point that I don't get why he did it, is he didn't need to say that Jackson was done at the end of the year. He didn't need to just etch that in stone from day one. He obviously he couldn't even make the call. What's the owner's name?
Reinsdorf.
Yeah, he was going to overturn it. Anyway, so the other side of that is Rodman was 37, I believe, and kind of a mess at that point. Like, that was spiraling out of control.
Yep.
Pippen was super frustrated at that point. Like, even Jordan says, I doubt he's going to be – he would have been tough to bring back. Then you've just got Phil coming through all that, and Phil – made an unbelievably good call to not return. The guy went on to win 5 more with the Lakers. So I kind of sit there and I go, if it was that doable, then why didn't it just happen? Like, why couldn't have you just made it happen? Because Jordan retired after, and it just is like, really thought you could win a 7. You go from that to retiring?
Yeah, but what do you mean? What do you mean? When the GM says at the beginning of the year, this is Phil's last year, this is the end of this team, we're blowing it up at the end of the year. Like it sounded to me like he wasn't even he wasn't even believing that they were going to win a 6th title. And now,
what I mean is, at the end of the year, he's saying if we all would have signed ones, we would have probably won a 7. And I'm sitting there saying, well, if you really think that, and Jordan, you're the real competitive killer that you make yourself seem to be, find a way to do it without Rodman or without Pippen or whatever, or sorry, because he thought he could have got Rodman. I'm just saying, don't retire. Like he actually just left after it, and after he thought he could have won the 7. So that's just my bench. That's all I'm saying.
The thing I'll say though, just to kind of support you there, that team had ran out of gas. Like I really feel I don't think they would have done it.
They weren't going to beat San Antonio that next year, I can tell you that.
They had gotten older.
Lane.
What's that?
Lane, they didn't play till January the next year. Is something to consider.
I realize that, but the mileage, like, okay, I'll put it to you this way. Look at the Blackhawks and the Kings in hockey and the Bruins in those years. It is tough to play all those extra playoff games and put that wear and tear on your body and continually do it and expect your team to win 3 in a row. It's tough. That team was tired.
6 and 8 is unfucking believable.
Oh, you're not going to touch that, I guess. But the thing is did they deserve at least the chance to all come back for 1 year and try?
They totally did, but then do it. Like find a way to do it.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay,
I don't even think it was the physical strain as much as the mental strain. I will support you in that. Like, how much fun could it have been playing under that flag that year when they're like, yeah, well, we know we're done after this.
Well,
like,
here's the one thing that talk about mental strain.
Money.
There is
for sure money.
Athlete that had to go through what Jordan had to go through. Like you almost level with them on their retirements. Like it would be crazy.
But that's why he's considered the Iceman, the greatest. Like it's not, the stuff he did on the court. But could you imagine having to deal with all that shit?
Oh,
I'd fold. I'd be done. I wouldn't have lasted a week. Who am I kidding? Anyway, who's your cut?
Cut? Well, it goes back to last week. Pippen's rap. It still gets to me. I'm mad that he's being labeled this bitch and blah 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 blah, and that he looks bad. I don't know. I loved Pippen growing up, and I just hate the fact that this 10 series doc has probably a whole generation thinking about Pippen and definitely not the way that they should.
I really, really hope that I'm next. I really hope I'm next.
I really, really hope that ESPN comes out with a 10-part documentary on Scottie Pippen. Boomer.
Yeah, my start all day long is for sure going to be that segment where Jordan basically explains to everybody why he is how he is and the way he's wired and how he literally just says he's like, I don't care. He's like, I'm competitive. He's like, I know I am. He's like, if I got to get in your ass because you're going slow in a game or at practice, he goes, I'm going to fucking do that. Like, and to me, that drive and that determination is what separates people like him and the greatest players to ever play their sports away from everybody else. That all day long will be my start because that whole part, like I've watched it. I don't know. I can't even count how many times. I think that's the part that Pratt said made him cry.
Well, the fact that he almost teared up. Like, I mean.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think Pratt cried 6 or 7 times watching it, and I think that part is probably right in the middle of it, because myself, I'm sitting there like, holy fuck, like this, all this guy wanted to do was win. All this guy wanted, he was not going to accept anything less. If you sucked, he was going to tell you, and like, you don't want to be here, go home. Like, and I love that about him. Like, that's incredible. Good for him. He was at the highest level of his sport. He was able to do that. My bench, I could do 3 or 4 things here. I'm not a Reggie Miller fan at all. I wish they would have left him out of it, but I mean, I guess he did. He provided a little bit of a view into the other side. He was a very good player at the time that this was going on. But Reggie Miller's just Reggie Miller. My favorite thing about what's that?
I said get in line. Everyone hates that guy.
His ears are awesome. I love his ears.
My favorite thing about Reggie Miller is that what he did and everything that he did while he was playing actually got him a spot in Seinfeld where Kramer threw a hot dog at him. I thought that was, that's the biggest thing about Reggie Miller to me that stands out. And my cut is the exact same thing as Wilson's. And the reason that it is because I grew up with a Sega playing NBA Jam, and Pippen was the second guy, and Horace Grant on NBA Jam, and you could just roll people with Pippen. I never in a million years thought that he was the way that he was in that docuseries. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe he doesn't deserve the rep that he's got, but he has it. And he has it in my mind now, real, like, cemented. Like, I don't know. That whole docuseries changed my opinion of him, regardless of which way it was written from. And I think the one part that stands out the most was what Jeff said in the other episode, was he was given an opportunity to say, yeah, you're right. I screwed up. I wouldn't have done it again. But he flat out looked at the camera and said, I'd have done it the exact same way. So that's my cut.
All I know is I really want to play NBA Jam right now because you just jogged that.
He's on fire.
NBA Jam TE Tournament Edition. Oh my!
Hang on, I'm confused with the Boomer. So you are saying the same thing? You wish that Pippen wasn't labeled that, or you?
I am saying that I grew up the same way you did, basically thinking, man, this guy is a god. Like, this is great. And this series ruined it for me, and I wish it didn't. That's what I'm saying.
It didn't ruin it for me.
Oh, it did for me. Then that's where we differ, because it ruined it for me.
Here's where I'm gonna. Okay, Pippen, I'm soured. There'll always be one thing with him that just sticks in my mind, and I actually really love it. When he dunked over Patrick Ewing, walked over his ass, and then walked by Spike Lee and told him to sit your ass down.
Yeah.
None.
Pimp, Scotty Pimpin'. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay. Remember when I said I didn't want to go last on the Last Dance segment? And now
I screwed you a little bit. Sorry, buddy.
All right.
Probably because of banter earlier today. Anyway, go ahead.
The start. Well, I'll be quick on two things. One, I think the best thing about this whole thing is I think so many young people now can be changed from the ones that think LeBron's better than MJ. Like, the ones that can actually see what MJ was about now. Like, that debate should be over now. I'm hoping it is, at least.
I didn't think there was a debate, but oh well.
But we talked about that, Pratt. We talked about this. I don't even think it's an MJ LeBron debate. I think it's a LeBron Kobe debate.
It isn't a debate, but there's a younger generation that thinks, because they really haven't seen MJ, right?
Yeah.
And they see LeBron and they think, oh, no way MJ is as good as him. So I think if they see this documentary, their minds are going to be changed. But also the other thing is just the whole production of this. And I don't know why I was thinking of Wilson's boy, Kersey, like, because he's going to probably be a basketball player. But think like 25 years from now, you know, Dad, how good is Michael Jordan? And you can, like, watch the documentary and you're going to know. Like, we don't have that with, like, Bobby Orr, really, right? There's not some wicked documentary put together or even like a Wilt Chamberlain one like that. But you have it, like, right there, like the best of all time. Here you go, watch.
And so much footage. So it is cool. Like, it changes a generation. Like, it'll, like you said, it puts arguments to bed. It does everything. It was awesome.
And the bench or the bad.
Bench.
I hate how all his former teammates are mad at him now. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but I just think that sucks. Like, Horace Grant.
Who's mad at it?
Horace Grant?
Horace Grant.
I thought we agreed he's left out of this. I thought
no, but what I'm saying is that it sucks that these guys are angry. He said it's 90% bullshit, the whole documentary. And Scottie Pippen was quoted as saying he is livid at Michael Jordan.
I did
interview.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's a bitch, so who cares?
It just sucks that that's coming out from it, right? That's kind of breaks my heart. But then, so yeah, and the last part, whatever the cut, I don't know if this falls under it, but they didn't get deep enough into Jordan's personal life, I thought, whether you want to or not, but like his kids all of a sudden show up on the last episode.
That was weird.
His key, well, they said the kids wanted nothing to do with it. They've led a very quiet life, and they're used to that, and they don't want the attention, right? They don't need the attention. They don't want to be in their father's shadow, right? They want to do their own things. So I get that, but
Jordan he's a very flawed human being. Like I do feel like, and again, MJ's the best, but they overshadowed his flaws with, I would say, the flaws of Pippen and a few others, right?
Did they though?
Well,
they painted him as a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, but he knows what he's doing there. That was a Jordan doc through and through. I'm not a gambler.
He got painted as being an asshole quite a bit in this documentary, guys.
Oh yeah.
What?
He got painted as being an asshole quite a bit.
Fuck that.
He so did, man. The players, like they said, he was an asshole to be around. Scotty Burrell flat out said, like, I hated the guy sometimes. Steve Kerr.
I bet you he loves that ring he's got.
Absolutely, but I'm saying
then
they say he's more competitive than anybody else, and sometimes that's a detriment to being a teammate. Some will say that, some won't. But there were times he was made to look like kind of a bad guy. I mean, that's what I saw. That's what I felt.
In the past, Bobby Orr had the same rep.
If you were 50-50 on Jordan, there's very few that went to disliking instead of loving him even more.
Oh, I agree with you, yes. I'm just saying it wasn't all puppy dogs, rainbows, and candy canes, is what I'm saying.
No, but he was a bad boy, and they could have got deeper, is all I'm saying. But
absolutely.
Yeah. I guess, the other thing I wanted to mention just before because that was your last one. Did we all hear about this pizza story?
Yes.
Oh, the blue game. That was going to be my bench almost, as I kind of call that bullshit.
But there's two steps to this, though. A guy came out and said from a Pizza Hut in Utah, he was the guy that made the pizza and he delivered it. And the day later, the guy comes on and he says, no, you didn't, because I owned the restaurant that was open that night just down the block. We made the pizza, and me and my 5 employees went up to that room. And it's turned into this whole, well, who did and who did not, that it matters. But I don't think anybody poisoned that pizza. I think
guys got 16 Karl Malone jerseys autographed too. So I mean, how do you know? How do you know? Like, it could be anything, man. Like,
funny side note to end on The Last Dance. I guess we can all agree we're kind of different in the way we view it, but at the end of the day, it was a great documentary. So I think that's a solid way to end it. So, we are gonna move into Pratt's favorite topic. The 24-team playoff proposal for the NHL that, as of when we went live right now, it was reported it has been sent to the NHLPA for vote on approval. So the way, for some of you that don't know, the standard stuff that I can kind of explain, 24 teams will make it, 12 from each conference. The top 4 in each conference get a bye to the second round, essentially. 5 through 12 play. I believe it's best of 5. Correct me if I'm wrong for that round. And the top 4 teams in each conference will play each other in a round robin style to determine who the top 4 seeds are. Did he literally just get up and walk away from the podcast?
Hit pause.
Oh, Lord. Hold on. Okay, so we got the piss break out of the way, boys. So everybody good now?
Yeah, I gotta apologize there for taking a lead and just saying pause it. That's one of the stupidest things you can say while you're doing a podcast. But the worst thing in the world was Wilson stands up and he goes over there into the corner, and I actually thought he was urinating on the wall.
The door was jammed. I had to go. I was
first day in that house, or what? The door was jammed. Okay, whatever. Go on. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so now we'll pick it back up. We were talking about there the playoff format. 1 through 4 in each conference will play each other in a round robin style to determine the seedings 1 through 4, and then the remaining 4 teams after the 5 through 12 playoff will move on to make it the round of 8 in each conference. I'm just going to kind of say my piece, then you guys can just carve this up. I'm not a fan of it for a personal reason. We all know I'm a Kings fan. That's good or bad. The Kings did not deserve to be in the playoffs. Okay, I'm the first to admit it. They had a 7-game winning streak going into the stoppage. Best hockey they played all year. I was really starting to see what the future held for that team. They still didn't deserve to be in it. Which brings me to my point. Neither does Chicago. You're going to sit there and tell me that the Chicago Blackhawks deserve to be in there playing and the Kings don't? No.
Wallace
not buying it.
really throwing salt at the Blackhawks here.
Well, okay, so the Canadians, I'll even do for the Canadians. What are the Canadians doing in there? Junk? I don't care. You a Habs fan? Tweet at me. Let's do it.
I'm sure if
Canadians.
Baki had Twitter, he would. But
Well, it's a joke. Like, if you're gonna do this, just do it with the 8-8. Call it. Roll it back to 68 games played if you're not going to play the rest of the games, which I don't see why you can't at this point. If you're going to do a stupid round robin, it makes no sense.
so as it stands right now, it goes regular season's done right into this.
As far as I'm understanding, I've seen nothing about those games being made up. So
Okay, where are the and I don't know, sorry, but where are the games being played?
Edmonton is supposed to be putting in some massive pitch. Actually, I read today they're doing some type of hub city for the teams. They're going to give them a hotel, public or golf course that's specifically quarantined to them.
That's sick.
Restaurants, the whole nines, and it's just going to be their own little villa in Edmonton where you can't go in, and it's the families of the teams, and that's it. They're going to do testing, which I mean, in theory, is a really safe, smart way to do it.
That's all of them. It's the hub city thing. That's
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than what the NBA is doing with Orlando and Disneyland, right? Their families and everybody's going to be allowed in. That's it. And you're going to
Everybody wants to go to Disneyland.
Well,
I don't think they're opening up West Edmonton Mall for all these hockey players, but maybe.
This is what I don't understand. We've got a sanction in place where you can't cross the border. So Edmonton, I mean, I understand what you're trying to do, but do you really think the Canadian government's just going to let it fly because you want to host some hockey games?
Well, if it's in Western Canada, the Canadian government won't. But
do you really care where these games are getting played? Does that matter?
Well,
no, I don't care.
I can tell you one guy in the bottom left-hand corner that's going to tell you he doesn't want the games being played. So, Pratt, I'm going to throw it to you. What do you think of this format?
Bullshit is this entire format. Yeah, the hubs, I don't care. Whatever they come up with. Vegas might be a hub too, I think they said. You're right, though, Lane, on some point, even though I usually like to disagree with you when it comes to the Kings. But how can they end the regular season just like that? Everyone's played different amount of games, and you make whatever this 2014 playoff based on that many games. You mentioned the Montreal Canadiens. Guess what? They're in, right?
Yep.
They're 3 points ahead of 2 teams that have 2 games in hand.
Yep. I agree.
Either one of those teams play the same amount of games and win them both, they're ahead of the Canadians.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand. I haven't heard any reasons why they're not playing the regular season yet. Out. My assumption is because players are only paid for the regular season, and they got their full payment for the regular season already.
Yeah. So
I'm guessing they got some greediness to them, and they're like, why do we play the games anyways? Just go to playoffs because we're not making any more money anyways, right?
Yeah.
Also, if one of these teams that isn't in the top 16 wins, it's completely tarnished. This is the history of hockey we're talking.
Yeah.
To me, this year, no jokes when I say this should be an asterisk year, but it should be. It should be.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the simple question.
If you don't know, this guy knows all about an asterisk. I'm telling you, he knows it, who it applies to. We'll get into that next episode.
But for real.
I just want to make a quick point, Boomer, and then you can have the floor. The thing that pisses me off the most, why stop at 24? Why stop at 24?
Well, to limit
Hold on. You've only got one team that's mathematically eliminated, and that's Detroit. They're done. They were mathematically eliminated. You want to do this 24 team? Take it to 30. Make it legit. Make it where everybody that was still alive and had a shot, you play it off.
What a joke, though.
Pratt, I understand what you're saying, but what's the 24? So
Here's
me as a fan, everybody else's team gets to watch their shitty ass team make the playoffs. And I mean, like I said, I understand LA should not be in the playoffs. I get it. They had a bad start to the year, but they were coming on. I, as a fan, want to see my team have a chance at it. Just because I finished in the top at 25, you cut me off. I'd be pissed. As a Kings owner, I'm pissed even more. The money that they make in the playoffs is more towards the owners, right? That's how they make up their money. And if I'm Philip Anschutz, the Kings owner, I'm thinking, did I just get shafted? Meanwhile, Chicago's in, Montreal's in, who are just as shitty and shouldn't even be there. But that's my point.
Yeah, go ahead.
My only question, period, is: would you rather see no hockey?
I would
don't know.
I would rather no hockey as opposed to what they're going to do. I don't care about hockey that much in July and August, honestly. Assuming other shit fires up, we're doing, you're just doing more stuff in the summer. I don't need to watch playoff hockey.
Brad, don't tell me you're not going to be kicking back if there's a late game on a late night. You're not going to watch that game. Don't tell me.
I said this to my boss today. I will watch Capitals games. I have zero interest in watching any other games. Whereas regular playoffs, I watch them all. I really don't. I think this whole playoff is tarnished from it. I don't know what's stopping them from cap the regular season at like 76 games. So they all play 76 at least. What's stopping them from that?
Because I told you earlier, it's a conspiracy theory. Gretzky decided that they needed to release this Wuhan virus so that Ovechkin could never catch him eventually. He had to cut you off a little bit at the knees there. That's what happened.
Maybe one answer to this is, one, when you talk about the regular season, are you saying the exact same schedule that was supposed to be played out? Or a fixed schedule?
No, they would, because you'd have to be playing teams in your hub, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So they would definitely have to revamp the schedule. And I think they did say that at one point, which is fine. But either get everybody to 82 games or let all 30 play.
Just hang on. Is it fine that they get to revamp the schedule and it's a twisted up schedule anyway? So why even if it's a made up schedule, then why even finish it? How many teams are in the league? 30?
31.
24 teams are making it. The bottom 7 teams aren't making it, Wallace. Go fuck! You don't deserve to make anything if you're in the bottom 7. Like,
but neither do the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are the bottom 8.
Why are you so stuck on the Blackhawks? You don't like the Blackhawks.
They're the team right ahead of LA. They're the team that got in.
I get that, Lane, but they had to draw the line somewhere, and if
we're gonna throw out playoff spots, like we're on Oprah and she's giving away frickin' books, let everyone play. Give me a break here, man. You get a playoff spot. You get a playoff spot. Everybody gets a playoff spot. Why should the bottom 6 teams not make any money out of it?
Because they're the bottom 6 teams, Wallace.
But in a perfect world, the other 8 wouldn't get it either, but they're getting in.
Well, but like you said, there's sometimes that room where guys can squeak in and all that stuff. It's the regular season didn't get played, so they're opening things up a little bit more to do it. I liked Pratt's idea last week.
I loved it.
This week. I'm just saying I like to watch playoff hockey or playoff sports or any sports for that matter. So whatever they come up with, I'm pretty much game. So the thing for this is just I'm like, what, Wallace? You're hung up on the Black.
I want to make this real clear right now. I'm saying this. Okay, you're looking at it as though I'm vengeful because I'm a Kings fan. It's not the case. I'd be pissed if Pratt. I understand that. I'd be pissed if I'm Anaheim, San Jose, any of those teams. If this team was only 5 points ahead of me,
7.
I realize that, but they had games in hand. My team, Wilson, the Kings were the hottest team. I know that's so hard to fathom. They were the hottest team in the NHL when the stoppage occurred. Winners of 7 in a row. who's to say they didn't win another 7 and get into that bracket?
100%, but it's not gonna be that. Like, you're not gonna do it. So live with it, accept it. Like,
I'm not living with it and I'm not accepting it.
I bet you the
did
Kings-
it.
I bet you the Kings ownership-
Okay. So in reality, if Wallace had his way, it would have nothing to. If he's saying that it has nothing to do with the Kings, if Wallace would have his way, you would start right now with 16 teams and just go forward naturally.
I would say the 16 natural teams, or you go all 30 because Detroit was the only one eliminated actually out of it. They were done a month ago.
You're not. Well, I don't think you're. I don't think you're going 30 teams because I don't think you can add. I don't think there are that many really, really good golf courses in Edmonton to allow these guys to play at themselves. So we'll back off that a little bit.
I guess the other thing too, could you imagine being a paid member at a golf course in Edmonton and getting told that you can't golf there for the rest of the year?
wow.
Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to pick the nicest golf course and be like, hey, sorry, we're shut down because NHL is giving us $2 million to.
I feel like those guys are probably
Whoa.
all getting signed jerseys from
I want
everyone
to
playing,
go
though.
back to Pratt. Let's go back to Pratt, and Pratt is legitimately saying he'd rather have no hockey. That blows my mind.
Well,
yeah. I just think it's so tarnished. I don't know. Maybe I'm a traditionalist or something.
You're not. You're
We've got
very
two
Bonds
guys
fan,
in
so
here
we'll
in the
move on.
last 2 episodes that are claiming to be traditionalists. I'm going to pay attention to those two from now on because if they ever want to go on something that isn't traditional.
Like, there's no fans either. I'm so not excited about this at all. And there's good. The only thing that saved this, I was livid about this because I thought they were going to take the top 4 seeds and they sit there and wait after not playing for 3 months, and then they have to play a team that just played a 3, 4, 5 game series. But they've changed that to where the top 4 teams are going to do a round robin, which
Okay, I got a comment to that though. I like the fact that they get to warm up and they play each other. The part that kind of gets me though is like if you're being strategic and you're looking at some sort of matchup, like because the weird thing is 8-9 plays 1.
Mhm.
So you're not gonna like if that's kind of a toss up. Like you might have a better matchup to play Columbus instead of Toronto or something like that. So do you like
lose.
go after the 1 seed, or do you intentionally lose? And
What do you mean 8-9 plays the 1? What do you mean 8-9 plays the 1?
8-9 the
The
winner
round
will
robin determines.
play the number 1 seed.
No, but
Yes.
let's the 16th seed. If let's say the 16th seed wins, they're playing 1.
No. Well,
No.
It's preset.
how they have it. Let me explain it. They have it. So first ranked would play against 8 versus 9 because the assumption is 8 wins. And the other one is, so there's 5-12, 6-11,
Yep.
Like-
7-10, 8-9.
Yeah. Yep.
Like how fantasy
So the assumption is if the favorites win, the 8th seed plays the 1st seed, correct? You know what I mean?
Right, but they would have to re-rank depending on who
No,
wins.
that's
those.
what
No,
they
they're
don't do,
not.
though.
They're not.
That's the point here, Wallace. That's the part that I think is broken a little bit is especially too, and I don't know when these games are going to get played, but what if all of a sudden you start to see Montreal beat Pittsburgh,
Right.
You're going to want to be the 4th seed
Yep.
for whatever reason. And you're not going to want to like risk injury. You're not going to want to do that. The round robin in the top 4, although I agreed with it being kind of a warm-up, it kind of confused the whole playoff bracket to me because I'm like, teams are thinking strategically. And a best-of-5 series and then a round robin, you're gonna start to see an outcome coming out of those that maybe you're like, we're better off in number 3. Everyone's shooting for the 3rd seed now in the top bracket. That's the one issue that I have with this on how I think they could have done a better job with reformatting, whether it's with 24 teams, whether it's with Wallace's participation trophy.
That is the dumbest format. I didn't even realize that until I just looked.
But that's what I'm saying is do something that makes it so 8 teams on each side make it, and I'll actually be more excited about playoffs if that happens. I'm not saying I would just never not watch.
I
The
do
whole no fans thing though, Pratt, we could be without fans until like January next year. So like, I mean, you better get used to that, right?
I'm just saying I'm not that makes me less excited anyways, right?
Right.
So
Well-
that would be my biggest one is I think that top 4 seed, and it'll actually be interesting to see if it happens. It might be a moot point because the earlier games might get played, or the round robin games might get played too early to really understand, Montreal's
Right.
not at Pittsburgh. They never really did announce timelines to any of that, but
No.
You know what?
it is a weird scenario.
They should do that round robin, those 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, and that should count towards regular season stats.
Oh God, here we go. Get
No,
Obi his
that's-
50 goals. No, seriously. What I honestly think you should do, you should completely forego the round robin. And I'm serious. You should forego the round robin for those top 4 teams. You should let them play out as they will below that. And you should let 1, hey, take your pick who you want to play. 2,
Yeah,
take
but
your pick
that's
who you wanna
unfair.
play.
Then they haven't played a game of hockey and then until going into that first playoff game, right?
Well, I guess they should have sucked a little more earlier in the season. Like I don't know what to say. Like
Hey, like Boomer said though, play the round robin for exactly and for the pick. So
For the
it's
pick.
not preset to say 8, 9,
pick, yeah.
9 plays 1. 1 gets to pick out of the 4 teams, and they do a big draft night and televise it, and we can all watch it. And get
Think of the what would that was like. You're the first pick. You pick who you think you're going to beat. How much that would fire up the team, right? That you pick.
I agree. That's what should happen for sure.
Ooh, boys, we're digging now. Okay, that's where we're gonna leave that one at. We can always pick this up because it's gonna be going on for a while. So, I guess the last thing I just wanted to touch on a little bit of football here. It was released today. Dak Prescott got offered a 5-year, $175 million contract from Dallas, and turned it down because he wanted $45 million in the final year of the contract. This guy, for an 8-8 quarterback that hasn't won shit, nothing, I wouldn't touch him in fantasy football, let alone in real life football. Right now, if I'm the Cowboys, I walk away from this guy and I pay Andy Dalton $7 million a season to get you into the playoffs and possibly win with what you have. Dak Prescott is not Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. He's just not. So I don't know where he thinks he's supposed to be getting this money from. What are your guys' thoughts?
You want to hear my thoughts? I think Dak Prescott is crazy. And the reason I think he's crazy is because in my mind right now, the most capable quarterback of winning a game is not him on that roster. That's
Right.
the part that blows me away. Like, yeah, Andy Dalton, he's not anything special. But right now, Dak Prescott isn't special either. Like,
the
and I
thing
mean,
is,
maybe that was a little exaggerated on my point, but come on, man. You're not getting $45 million in any year of a contract based on your workload and what you've done. You haven't done anything yet. Come on.
the thing is
It's brutal.
I actually, like, we rag on Andy Dalton. The guy had a Swiss cheese O-line in Cincinnati, didn't have a chance. This guy, given an offensive line and in Dallas, I think he could be very successful. Call me stupid. I think he's a better option for Dallas than Dak is. But am I willing to say it? Well, I guess I just did. So
I'm not saying he's better than Dalton. I don't think he's worth that. I'm surprised he turned it down. Also not that surprised because it's Dallas and they just he's gonna get paid. Dak
But
is
if you're
good.
Dallas, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you try trading him, getting him some draft collateral back, and wait until you can actually draft a quarterback where you've got control over his contract, right?
They knew he wasn't going to accept it. Maybe it was a save face type thing, and not doing that and flipping around. He's the idiot, and that's what we all think he is now.
Boys,
Does
that's
he want more years?
No, he wants more money. He wants 5
mil a
years. He's fine
season.
with 5 years. He wants that. He wants the last year to be boom.
That's
Ridiculous.
$35 million a season. That's Brady's not making that. Nobody is. Well,
you know,
one is, but
yeah, like there was comments there where, you know, this is
No.
before, like when he was trying to negotiate before, and he tried to compare himself to Russell Wilson, and I can't, no. Like, no, you're not that style of player. You don't throw that well. You haven't won the Super Bowl. Just get out of here. Like, you're not, like.
But that literally would have made him the highest paid QB in football, you guys.
I know.
What more do you want?
That's why it's a joke. Like, that's why Dallas looks good here. I mean, they still look like idiots in all of our minds for even offering it. But Dak, ultimately, I think they probably knew that he had a line that he had drawn, and they were either going to take that or they weren't. And it's laughable. It really is.
No, but
comment
Dallas
on the-
now
the
looks like rock stars. Dallas looks great now because
The
regardless of what happens from here, they're in the driver's seat. They look
The
great.
comment on the post was, I don't know who looks dumber, the Cowboys for offering it or Dak for declining it.
Yeah.
So not that
Yeah.
I can see both sides of it. I'm sure we'll be talking about that too going forward. So that's going to do it for this week for us, you guys.
Whoa, wait.
Oh,
Brady, Manning, Tiger, Phil. Who's winning, boys?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I'm not even going to Pratt. I'm not even going to watch.
No.
No.
my whole thing is I probably will watch. My whole thing is, like
I'm picking Woods and Manning.
Me too.
are you
Yeah.
Did you see the format?
$50?
I'll do 50.
Yeah, okay. Deal.
Wilson, I'll do 25 with you.
I get Tiger
Yeah.
and Manning.
I have
Yeah.
to go 25. My wife will watch this, and if she sees I go 50, I'm dead. So I'll go 25 with you. I'll
I'll do 50.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take Brady and Mickelson. Yeah.
You know the
God
format?
damn it.
Yeah, Phil and Brady are winning.
No. I'm gonna win now because you don't know the format, and I can tell you why, but it's alternate shot at the back nine.
Oh, huh. That
And
still
the
doesn't hurt my chances.
The golfer really comes into play.
The quarterbacks tee up way ahead, so it's basically if whoever's better off the tee up between Brady and Manning.
You
Our
realize
goal.
Brady's like 10 times the golfer Manning is, right?
Well, that's weird because Manning's handicap is 2 full points below Brady's, but
No. Yeah. But yet somehow
I you know what? Regardless of this
You're an
banter,
eight.
I'm
Brad,
fine with my bet.
You told me your handicap was a 7.2, and I definitely didn't see that on Saturday.
What?
So
what's it? Oh, on Saturday, you want to talk about Saturday?
yeah, I lost some money.
Can I tell a quick Lane story about Saturday?
Absolutely, please hit us with it.
We go golfing. We were both garbage, right? I shot lower than him. What did you shoot, Lane? 92? 94.
94.
What? Whoa, what?
That was
You
my
take
first
the
round.
handicaps the other day in best
Okay,
scores.
let's put it in
You guys
perspective,
are blowing
Pratt.
90s.
First round of the year, and you're throwing it out here like I'm hot garbage.
No, but this is a funny story. I'm talking to Boomer and Wilson because they know. He took the old X on hole 6, right? Which I have no issue with, but hole 6, par 3. We're on the tee box. I hit mine. Lane goes up. There is like these 2 young little girls that live in that house in the bottom there on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a nice little lemonade stand up in their
Right
yard.
on. Good for them.
Lane pumps 2 at the lemonade stand.
Well, man of the people,
What?
you wanted to go buy some lemonade, right?
So I holler 4. We drive down there. Pratt's like, "Yeah, did you see maybe a couple balls come over here?" Well, no. Yeah, no. I said, "Well, did you look behind you about 10 yards because they flew over your head?"
Poor girl's trying to make a quick buck, and Lane's firing golf balls at them.
Oh,
92.
4. Boomer, it was
94.
tragic. It was tragic. Like I can't even describe. I don't think I hit a fairway. No, I don't think it was bad. It was bad. But don't worry, Pratt. We will do it again in mid-season when I've got about 4 or 5 under my belt, and then we'll see how it goes. You got me this time. It's fine. Hey, you didn't shoot worth the shit either. So let's
I know.
We
Right.
all were dog shit. So let's.
I'll
Just
break
keep it up.
90 with a 7-iron. What the fuck is with you guys? Anyway, because we were talking about best rounds the other day. Somebody's telling me 71 or 70 or
Just because it happened once does not mean that's a thing that happens all the time.
All right, wrap her up.
All right.
here.
We're
Sum
good.
it up.
okay.
Okay. Everybody, thanks for watching again this week. A lot of fun again. Give us your comments. Give us your feedback. Give us, what you want us to talk about. Let's hear your thoughts. Comment on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Share it on Facebook. It's posted there. Comment on the video. It's all good. We really appreciate you guys' support. And we'll definitely talk to you again next week. Thanks for joining in.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.